Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Weekend Wrap Up Show here on Shelbyville Now. I'm David Thomas. This is Mr. Josh Blevins across from me. Josh,
Good morning,
I
David.
see you got a different brand of coffee this morning.
I should probably explain. I don't have Southern Cup. I would rather have Southern Cup, David.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
I know.
I was running late. I drive up to Southern Cup. They're doing a good business this morning. They're backed up
Covered
to the
up.
street. Covered up. I'm like, I'm going to be late. I'm not going to be able to go live at 10 o'clock. So I come to the red light in front of Walgreens. I did what you're not supposed to do. I pulled out my phone, but I was stopped. I was at a complete stop.
Okay.
There's a red light.
Okay.
I pulled out my phone. I touched my thumb about 3 times, and my coffee order was placed at Starbucks, swung around the block, pulled in. My coffee was waiting for me, and I was able to get here on time. So that's the coffee's not as good, but it was
You used
convenient.
the app. You
I used the
app.
app.
Okay.
That's what you get with the convenience of the. That's kind of like why you might stop at McDonald's instead of going to get real food if if you're in a hurry. I guess that's why you do it. So I'm drinking
All right,
not
okay.
quite as good coffee
Okay.
because it was faster.
let's go back.
Yeah.
You said that's why you might stop at McDonald's.
Now I don't stop at McDonald's,
but
but I'm
said
saying
you
somebody
might.
might. Yeah.
instead of getting real food.
Yeah. Instead of real food. Instead of real food.
All right. So there's a lot of implied things there. All
I'm
right.
just saying that's
All
why
right,
these
so
things
I know
happen. So,
you've
yeah.
got a couple of things you want to talk about before we.
Yeah, before we go to the break, I want to cover a couple of things that happened that aren't necessarily news that I just wanted to speak about real quick, and a couple of things going on later today. I went on Thursday night and saw the, I guess it's the media preview of the new play at the Fly Arts Center. I believe it's called Farce of Nature.
Right.
Tickets still available. Go get your tickets. It was very funny.
All right.
So very
All right.
funny.
Very funny.
After the play, they took us down in the basement, a couple of us, and showed us the new horse statues that are going in a couple of weeks. We got a sneak preview. We got the beautiful Jim Key that's going to be going installed in the next couple of weeks in front of the grindstone there in the little wood.
Yeah.
Wood-
Jim
wood-
Key. You know,
Yep.
he could add and subtract. Did
I
you know that?
I did. I've heard
Yeah,
that story.
okay,
So
okay.
I've not read the book, but I've heard the
You
story.
need to read the book.
Yeah, so he's going in a couple weeks, and then there's another one that's painted up kind of artsy for going in front of the Fly Arts Center.
Yeah.
So got a sneak peek at those. So those will be coming soon. And then later today, just want to point out a couple of events at the back at the Grindstone Cowboy. We've got Picking for Peyton. This is a fundraiser for the, I believe it's Peyton Allison Memorial
Mhm.
Fund. She was a teacher here locally that was tragically killed a couple of years ago in an accident. And they are raising money for a fund that's going to provide scholarships to people that are going into the field of being a teacher. So
Yeah.
I believe that runs from 3 to 8. And then our friend, the appliance doctor, Jay Mantooth, he's had some health issues recently, I've heard, so over the
Yeah.
internets. And today at 7 o'clock at the Backroads Bar and Grill on Warners Bridge Road, they're having a live auction. Auctioneer being Big Smo.
Okay. Now, where is this?
Yes, Backroads Bar and Grill, 1902 Warners Bridge Road.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Big Smo will be auctioning off some stuff. There's going to be live music by the Buck Wild Band, and it is $10 at the door, and they are raising money for the appliance doctor. So
All right.
another good event. So
Yes. Okay.
just want to point out those couple things going on, and look for the horse statues to show
The
up in
horse
next couple
statues.
weeks. The horse
All right.
statues. So yeah,
We'll keep our eyes open for that.
look
Josh.
out for horses. So
Where would we find this out? Anywhere else? I mean, how could we know this stuff if Josh wasn't out?
if I wasn't out beating the pavement looking for what's going on here locally, so
Yeah,
there's a couple
yeah.
things that you can look forward to.
it's what matters the most. It's
It
what we
does,
talk
you know,
about right
it's
here.
good local
it.
stuff.
That's right.
So,
That's
good
right.
local stuff.
All right. Well, we want to thank our sponsors this morning: Cutting Edge Optical, Dennis Young Insurance, and the Dream Team.
Yes, the Arnolds at
Arnolds.
Coldwell Banker Realty.
Let's hear from them, and we'll be right back.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 20/20 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville, or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency. As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All righty, welcome back in here to the weekend wrap-up show. Josh, you've got a few things here to talk about this morning. Why don't you dive in?
A few things. Yeah, it wasn't a crazy week. We did have several meetings I went to, though. Monday, I spent the day Monday and actually part of the day Tuesday and part of the day Friday even at the Bedford County Board of Equalization. So this was a new one to me.
Yep.
It doesn't meet very often, so this was my chance to hang out with the
big
board.
question is, I know you're going to get into it. Did things get equalized?
All depends on who you're talking to, I guess. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure a lot of people left happy. Here's what they do. We just had a reassessment of the property values in all of Bedford County here. Everybody got their little notice in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Most people's property value went up. A lot of people's property value went way up.
Yeah.
So this is where you go and make your case to the county board and say, hey, you went too high. So, and honestly, this board didn't do it. It was done by the state and the property assessor's office. But this is a 5-member board. 2 of the members I knew that because they sit on the county planning commission. The other 3 I did not, but they were appointed by the county and the city. So these 5 sit in a room at the historic courthouse for 2 weeks straight. They're there Monday to Friday for 2 weeks in a row. They could have, because I saw the schedules for the couple days I was there, they have, if they were completely full, they could squeeze in 20 appeals a day. They do 15 minutes at a time. So in their little calendar, they had room for 20 a day. So you do the math. They could hear 200. Realistically, based on, I didn't obviously see but 2 or 3 of the days, I'd say looking at what I was seeing, 12-ish a day was what they were actually getting to and had scheduled. So they may hear 120 or so appeals from across the county. The way it works is if you get in and make your appeal here, you've at least got a chance to get your value assessed down.
Yeah.
If you don't appeal it, once this board is done, you're locked in for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So the state waits for this board to finish its work before they set the final certified tax rate. But honestly, do the math. If 120 people appeal, and even if they all get granted, it's probably not going to be enough to move the needle a whole lot on the whole county. So the county's 25,000 some parcels. Some of these people could be appealing a handful of parcels if they own multiple, but still, you're not going to move the needle enough that they're going to affect the tax rate that much. Overall, what they found and what I found watching what they were doing was the value of land in Bedford County has gone through the roof. More so, the houses obviously went up. Houses and what they call improvements in this world went up. But the land is what increased exponentially. So that was most of the complaints as well that were coming in. People coming in and saying, hey, my land's not worth what you're saying it's worth. So they did on a lot of them. There's no science to what they're doing. You would think maybe there'd be a magical grid or formula that they work off. No, it was kind of you come in, you make your case. Yeah. Some people brought in comps. Some people just came in and said, hey, I don't think this is right. They looked at all of it. They kind of got to a point where they looked at enough that they were saying, just from the discussion I heard, they kind of came to the decision that in Bedford County at this time, if you live on a buildable piece of acreage in Bedford County, like 2 to 5 acres or so, that piece of land, because it can have a house on it, is probably worth at least $150,000 right now.
Josh,
and up from there. So
let's talk about this just for a second. I know if you've had a piece of property and you've lived somewhere for a long period of time,
Yeah.
you go back to the day that whatever it was, whatever the cost was. Let's say you've had a house 30 years. And now, and you're basically all you're doing at this point is paying insurance and property taxes on it. You've got everything paid for.
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody tells you now you're going to have to pay property taxes and insurance on this amount because it's worth that. That's it scalds you a little bit, but I want to look at the positive side of it. Okay. Just for a second.
Yeah.
I've got an asset that has escalated in value tremendously. Okay.
Right.
That's the positive side of it. The problem gets to, if there is a problem with that, is the people that see the insurance rates going up along with the property tax rates going up. Well, I can't afford to live in this much of a property anymore. It's escalated, but there is a positive side to it, because if you went to sell the property now,
You would get a lot more money.
a lot
for it.
more money. But
Yeah.
the flip side of that is if you plan on going and buying something else, you're going to pay a whole lot more for that. So it's
Right.
all relative.
Yeah.
But as far as you have an appreciating asset in a home that's escalated higher than anything else probably out there in value as far as another asset.
Right.
I mean,
so as an investment, it's
yes,
been a good
it's been
investment,
huge.
but it does cost you as
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
And the
so-
upkeep, just to get a roof put on, just to get some basic plumbing done, all of that has escalated faster than the value has probably.
Right. Yeah.
So-
and the very first case that came in, I'm not going to get into people's specific
Sure.
properties, but was a gentleman. I posted this on the little article I did. He probably, and I don't know his income, so we can't speak to that part, but he may have been almost the poster child for this tax freeze thing that we've been discussing,
Right.
because he was in his 70s.
Yes.
He was living in a trailer on a piece of property out in the county. It was only a couple, 2-3 acres. And his value of the land had gone up so much that his tax bill, even though we know the tax rate is going down, it's revenue
Yeah,
neutral,
blah,
we've
blah,
heard
blah.
all that.
Yeah.
His actual bill, if they had not adjusted, now he did get a discount of some kind. I don't even remember what it was, but his bill was set to go from $400 and some dollars to $800 and some dollars. So he was about to have a doubling of his tax bill.
Right.
And he said there specifically, I'm on a fixed income, I'm living on Social Security. How am I supposed to be able to afford this?
Right.
That's part of what we've been discussing on the other side
Sure.
of the tax freeze. And it can't fix this reappraisal, but that's something that had the county had the senior tax freeze 1 or 2
Yes,
years ago, these
exactly.
cases wouldn't have had to come to this
Right.
board because they already would have been.
So,
frozen.
I mean, when you're behind the curve on stuff, this is what happens.
this is what happens.
But before you go forward,
Yeah.
Brent Smith is quizzing us.
Yeah.
Okay. Says, hey, David, is that a different coffee cup this morning? Inquiring minds want to know. I have a different coffee cup. He's referring to my McDonald's cup. It's
crystal one?
gone to a crystal
You got a
cup.
crystal.
And we'll talk about this one more time because not a lot of people heard this. Southern Cup was so busy, you had to use your app and go through the
I had
drive-through
to
at
use the app
Starbucks.
and go to Starbucks real quick, or I was going to be late. So,
At Southern
yes.
Cup, you were wanting to support local, but they
Oh.
were booming this morning.
They were booming. They were lined
All
up
right.
to the street.
So there you go, Brent.
I'll be back at
Your
Southern Cup
inquiring
next time.
mind, I hope, is satisfied.
Yes,
now.
hopefully
All right.
he's satisfied. Now, one more quick thing on property. We get a report that we don't generally cover every week because they send the Registry of Deeds office
Right.
emails us a report on property transactions that happen in Bedford County every
Right.
week. We get that once a week. I just wanted to point out the one transaction from this week's report that kind of goes to what is going on with county property values. There was a sale on Burns Road this week that was published this week. It actually happened last month. It started out as just a single, and I think it was just part of a farm. It wasn't even an entire farm. It was in
Right.
the neighborhood of 60 to 65 acres. Somebody bought that farm, or that part of a
Yeah.
farm. They cut it up into 41 lots, got it approved. I actually was there. It got approved last fall at the County Planning Commission as
Yeah.
a subdivision. So you got 41 lots, 41, maybe
I'm
42.
trying to do the math, and I
No,
can't find
that's
my
okay.
calculator.
That's okay. I've got most
You
of the
got-
math in my
okay,
head. I
okay,
hope. So
okay,
yeah,
all right,
so
all
you got 41 lots. They were all just a little over an acre in
Yeah,
size,
yeah.
and it sold on this week's property report $5.4 million to a
So
developer.
that's what, 130?
$130,000
An acre.
per buildable lot. So that's what it sold for, and it was acreage wise, it was a little under 100,000 an acre but there were roads and stuff cut out of that. But
Right,
that
right.
kind of gives you an idea of the type of transactions that are going on out in the open market, and obviously you have enough of those Those all get baked into the formula that the state sets, and that's what happens to the property values. out in
Josh,
the
20
county.
years
So-
ago, that lot would have cost you $20,000.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's how much it's gone up.
That's how much it's
fivefold.
appreciated. So yeah, it's been a big change. So that's what's going on with property value out in the county. One other point I want to make: there's a lot of property out in the county is greenbelt. Obviously, if you
Right.
own a certain amount of
Right.
acreage, you put in the greenbelt, you get a discount. Some of those have come to the Board of Equalization. That value of greenbelt property is set by the state. So unless they've misclassified the land somehow, they classify land as, I learned all kinds of stuff this week.
I
but they-
bet.
It's set as they've got all these different numbers and codes, but it's like it could be forestry, it could be rotational crop, it could be, I don't know all the different categories, and then it can either be good, average, or poor. But unless they've somehow messed up what your land is and they think it's forestry and it's really hay or something, that this board cannot give you a discount on your green belt.
Okay,
Because you're
so the
actually
only
paying
way
them
you would
to
have to
build,
appeal
so-
to the state, and they're probably not going to listen to it.
Well, you can, but they're same thing. It's a set formula the green belt is, and you're already getting a big discount by
Okay.
being in the green
All
belt.
right.
They don't generally, or they're not going to go and give you another discount.
Right.
So, and those did go up. Even green belt went up, but it
Explain
doesn't
to
go
people
up
what
as high.
green belt means. That means primarily farming land.
Yeah, and
Right.
you don't necessarily, from what I heard there, and I don't know all the qualifications, you don't necessarily have to have like a complete
Right.
working farm to get in the green
Right.
belt. But if you're in the green belt, you're getting a big discount on what you would have paid if it was
Gotcha.
non-green belt
Okay.
land. So that's what's going on with property values. They're going up. So that's where we're at. That board will meet this coming week for 5 more days, Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, and then they're done their work for the year and they move on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
So Tuesday we had city council study session. We had a lot of stuff that we went over. No voting happened. It was a study session, but we did, and I'll get deeper into this when we talk about the budget in a minute. We reviewed the pay study that came in from the group that did the pay study on the city employees. We talked about that last week.
Right.
I think last week the dollar figure was 1.3 million. As happens, that dollar figure has changed. It's now 1.4 million.
Of course.
Is the dollar figure.
And wait till next week.
Well, it may be different next week, but currently sitting at $1.4 million. She came in. This was actually the majority of the study session. She gave a very long presentation of this, which actually
Now,
is
let's
the
talk
second
about
time
what
I'd
that
heard it.
number is, the actual increase that it's going to take per year, right?
That is a one-time increase. You'll have to pay that same amount going forward, but
You're right.
it won't go up that much every year. Yeah,
But
Yeah.
it's still going to go up because
Right.
the cost of living raises.
yeah. You'll
Okay,
still
but-
have
But
smaller
to
increases
get
later,
caught
I
up,
guess.
it's going to be this bump, and that's going to be added to your budget every year. I
Right.
mean, it's just built into
going
it.
forward.
It's the
That's
water
the new,
rose.
That's the new
Yep.
water line there.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the study. That was the second time I'd heard that presentation. Obviously, that is a big dollar figure. They did this 5 or 6 years ago, obviously, well
Yeah.
before I was even living here. And they, at that point, the council got a smaller dollar figure. I believe it was 6 figures. And they thought
Okay.
that was too high. So they split it in half. They were going to do it, but do it in 2 steps. They did step 1.
Never did step 2.
They never did step 2.
Why not?
Money.
Exactly.
spend the
Okay,
money.
so we're
Yeah.
going to didn't want to spend the money or couldn't spend the money.
Well, they could, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to raise taxes. To spend the money.
Okay.
Didn't
This
wanna
gets
raise
to the whole
taxes.
thing.
Didn't wanna
So
raise
our
taxes.
property
Yeah.
taxes are going to go up. Maybe not this year, but Josh, they're coming.
At some point, city and county.
It's
is
either
gonna run out of
raise
money.
it's either
Yeah.
raise taxes or reduce services. One or
Or
the
cut
other.
services.
That's it.
Yeah, those are your
The
two.
people of this county and city
Right.
have to decide if they want continued services at the level we have, or do you want to reduce the services, or maybe take a look at what we're doing a little closer.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's options in there.
yeah,
But
those are your choices.
this is going to be our topic going
Yeah.
forward for the next 2 years, Josh.
Yeah, a lot more than 2 years probably.
Oh, I'm
So,
just
yeah.
saying.
Big-
I'm
big
just
topic
saying.
forever.
Well, I'm talking
Yeah.
about shock factor.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this year.
Yeah.
We're cruising through this year without it.
Yeah,
Wait till 2027. Wait till this
Yeah.
time next year,
next
Josh.
year it's going to be
Everybody's
a lot
hair is going to be
harder.
on fire, and your cap will be on fire.
Yeah,
too.
and I was going to get into more of that when we get into
Okay,
budget,
all
but
right.
yeah, both city and county
It's coming.
this year probably will not raise taxes.
Probably will
Between
not.
it being an election
You know,
year and a
not
number of
election
factors.
year just has a way of making taxes set still for a while.
Yeah.
Wait.
And what happens is, and I think you and I talked about this a little before we're on the air, if there's not a tax increase in the discussion, the rest of what we're going to talk about in the budget, even the pay thing, honestly, most people don't care.
Mhm.
So in just their day-to-day life,
Mhm.
unless you're physically going into their bank account and going to
Right.
take more money out with a tax increase, the fact that there's a pay study, the fact that we're going to talk about some other things in budget, they don't,
No,
and they couldn't care less.
they're looking
So,
at the bottom line.
yeah. But as soon as next year, or the year after, as soon as somebody talks about it, suddenly everybody will be at these meetings. So that's
But honestly,
Yeah.
as a citizen, somebody that's not in the process, that
Yeah.
watches the process,
Yeah.
it's math. I mean,
Right.
it's like you do at home. If you don't like how much you're paying, you got to go look at your cable bill and see all the subscription services. If you get away with cable, you go to your subscription services, you keep getting cut here and cut there and cut there. The next thing you know, you're paying more than what your cable bill was.
to begin with.
By the way, I know about that.
You know how that
all right,
works.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got a choice to make. And I also look at my electric bill. That's a little high. Well, do I have the thermostat on 70? All these things are choices that we have to make to determine our household expenditures. We're going to have to make the same choices at the local government level, city and county.
Right.
Do we want to keep doing these things? Do we
Right.
want paved roads? Do we do we want
Do you want more
do
potholes?
we want
Do you
somebody
less
coming? Do
potholes?
we want Matt Doak coming and putting the fire out?
Yeah. Do you want
do
your
we-
fire put out?
Do we want criminals arrested?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to have to determine. Do we want this stuff at the level we're getting now? Are we going to fade away and try to save money?
Right. Like last month, and we didn't talk about it. We don't talk about it so much every time it comes out anymore, but we got the police numbers last
Mhm.
month.
Mhm.
And if you're in the city of Shelbyville, they show up if you call 911 in
3
3 and a
minutes.
half minutes.
3
I think it was
minutes,
3 and a
yeah.
half minutes last month.
Pretty impressive.
Do you want to not pay higher property tax and they show up in 7 minutes or 10 minutes? Where's the trade-off that
Right.
you're willing to pay for?
And
the
I think
services
the
is
general public
question.
sitting out
Yeah.
there, all they look at is the dollar amount. I mean,
Right.
that's what I do. I look at
Sure.
that dollar amount. Man, this property tax is insane.
Yeah. Why am I
Okay.
paying so much?
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's cut the police service out real quick. See how much I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm being devil's advocate here, but
Right.
honestly, if we want this stuff, we're going to have to pay for it somehow. Money
Right.
just don't come floating in and out of here on trees.
No, I've looked.
And
for it
you
fall out
guys
of the
don't have a
sky.
printing press like the federal government does, so you're
No, local
dependent.
government can't.
No,
yeah, can't make money.
hey, that's an idea. We can just start printing money,
Yeah.
Josh.
Shelbyville bucks. We'll just
Shovel
yeah,
bucks, yeah,
yeah,
shovel
yeah.
bucks.
Shovel bucks. All
All right,
right.
sorry, but I just want people
Yeah.
to get in their mind right now. These things that we talk about right here, everybody ends up talking about the money. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But these are things that we all are demanding. Okay. If I want to get a meal at a restaurant, I got to pay for it.
Yep.
We're going through a cafeteria of services here. We're going through the line. What do we want? What do we don't want? Let's look at the final bill. Oh, we got to cut this. That's our councilman's job. That's our commissioner's job to take a look at these things and say, the people don't want this anymore. I don't know if anybody says in the city, I don't want y'all to pave roads anymore. I don't want y'all to come to my house when I have a burglar. I mean, but that's what the things that we're talking about here, it all relates to that bottom line that we're going to have to talk about next year.
Right. And some people prioritize certain things more than others, not to get off track what we already are anyways. But
Well,
for instance, the
comes around.
soccer thing that
Yeah.
I was at this
Yeah.
week that we'll talk about in a minute, for some people that have kids in rec sports, having somewhere to send your kids to be able to play baseball, soccer, whatever is a big deal. And you want somebody taking care of that. Generally, you're right now looking at the local government.
Well,
But if you're retired and don't have grandkids in
No.
that, and you probably couldn't care less about
you
how
want
nice
to opt out.
Yeah, you-
okay?
you don't
I don't want my money
you don't
going
want
to
your
that.
money, but
All right.
that's not how it works.
But here's
Everybody's
the
paying
bill,
into pot,
and here's
so,
the reason the government has to do it.
Yeah.
A private company can't come in there and buy land and put a soccer field in and make money.
And make
Everybody
profit.
says it's a money-making proposition. I got
Right.
news for you. I don't care if you get the hotel taxes as a private citizen and a private business. It still ain't gonna make no
You're
money.
still not going to make a profit.
It's about
so.
entertainment for our kids. That's
Right.
what it's for. Recreation for the kids.
Yeah.
We're going to have a decision to make. Do we want that type thing coming out of our tax money?
Right.
Okay.
And in that one, just now that we're already on soccer, that and the baseball and some of the other ones,
Yeah.
if you do it right, the government can at least break even or make some money because they're going to get the sales
Okay.
tax revenue and the other tax stuff that the private business
I want
would
to
never get.
I want to
so.
scroll the clock back 30
Yeah.
years. No, longer than that probably about 30 years when the rec center was being discussed about how it will make money. The memberships that we sell will pay for it. I got news for you, but you
That doesn't
know
happen. Yeah,
it
I
ain't
get that
happened
budget.
yet.
Yeah.
It ain't never going to happen.
Right.
It's just going to be a cost to the taxpayer. Do we want that as taxpayers? Okay, legitimate. This is this bare facts, bottom line talk.
Right.
It's what I call real talk. Do we
Yeah.
want that?
Yeah.
At my age, probably not. But if I'm 30 with kids, yeah, y'all better do that.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's the balancing act. Yeah, you got different people
Yep.
that have different priorities.
Different
So,
vantage points.
Yeah. So, other stuff that we discussed at the study session was we are requesting a grant from the state to set up speaking of parks, a new overall master plan for the park system. And I asked the question, it's not just HV Griffin. They're talking about everything, looking at the possible rails to trails, all the other parks that are around town, maybe looking for new parks. So this would be, I think it's a $75,000 study, and this would be paid for by a state grant.
Josh, can I chime in here again?
Go
Here
right
on this
ahead.
thing. Okay.
Go right ahead.
Let's just take a look at. We have parks,
Yes.
plural.
Yes.
All right, we've got Neverest Park out on the south side of town.
Yep.
We've got the Fisherman's Park.
Fisherman's Park,
Okay,
River
We've got
Bottom.
River Bottom.
Yeah.
and
HV Griffin.
HV Griffin. What else?
And there's some ball fields over here down your street, I think, even Evans Street. And there's some ball fields out there. I think.
Well,
that's
there's a
in the
ball
system.
field that's right across down here.
Yeah.
There's one ball field. I wouldn't call that a park.
No, I think that is in the.
What they ought to
city's
do,
system.
here's what they ought to do with that city of Shelbyville: sell that piece of property right there, and build another field, practice field. That's all it's used for is practice field, and they
Right.
use it for parking during the celebration. Well, we got a prospect that could buy that little piece of land right there, sell it, and build a field, and get rid of that upkeep right there. But Josh, just an idea.
Just an idea.
Sorry.
But yeah, and that they obviously want to add more parks, so that's all part of the master plan. They want to go in, have the state pay for this study, look around, look for available property, look for ideas. So
We're
look
gonna
for
build
money.
more parks.
more parks.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
We're gonna make it an old people park.
I don't want old people.
You don't want old
park.
people
No,
park for
no,
people?
no,
No, you
I'm
don't want
sorry.
old people
We
park.
went off on a rabbit trail, but these
did.
people that are listening out here, people need to think through these things instead of say, I want this, I want. It's all costing. Anytime you say I want, there's a dollar sign right at the end of that sentence.
There is a dollar
All
sign.
right.
It will cost some money.
Yes.
We were looking to get a grant. We were requested to give a grant to the Bedford County Fair. We'll make that decision next Thursday when we vote. Racetrack sent in an application. I can't remember, was certificate of good moral character or something. I don't know. Something
heard that.
involved in.
They had to prove they weren't.
They had to prove that they weren't low
outlaws.
lives so that they can sell wine at racetrack. So racetrack eventually
Okay.
is going to be selling some
All right.
wine. We're going to be moving the July council meeting to July 7th because on the 9th, when it was supposed to be, there's going to be people out of town at a conference. There was a long discussion of the rezoning on West Jackson Street that will finally come to a vote this Thursday, I hope.
Yeah.
Our planning department, as part of a new state law, they have to justify the fees that they're charging. So they've got a new fee schedule and some explanation of why they charge those fees to make sure that we're not overcharging people for what's happening in planning.
That's another tax right there.
If it's done right, it's not. That's why the state's
Oh, it's a
requiring you
tax,
to,
Josh. It's
well,
any money that goes to the government is tax.
yeah, well, it's being paid by developers that are building new
Okay.
developments.
So
I'm
not
bothered
against
by
it.
that.
Hey, I'm not
So,
against it just
yeah.
because I pointed out. All right.
Yeah. There's a group from the city. We have to approve this on Thursday that is going to go to this conference in Kingsport. This is the annual TML conference, Tennessee Municipal League. Software renewals. It's expensive to run a local government. There's a bunch of software involved. Who knew? I think it was 6 figures, the software bill for the year. So
You got to be dadgum kidding me.
now you got your finance software, which handles the money. You got your Microsoft, which Microsoft
What do we do
Has
before?
gone up.
What do we do before
So-
software, Josh? We use
paper.
hardware.
Well, you use
hardware.
paper. This is all done
Paper.
electronically. So
Exactly.
electronically.
Exactly. I'm thinking
So
we might ought-
Microsoft gets a big chunk of money
legal
every
pads, and notebooks. I think we ought to go back to that and save all this
Well,
software money.
Technology's hopefully
I
making
know.
things easier.
What do you
And
think?
then we've got a third big contract now with OpenGov. This one is not even operational yet. I asked this question. October, it's going to be live, and this is going to be the deal where instead of paper, right now, still, if you do planning and
Yeah.
zoning and a bunch of stuff for the government, you still do fill out a paper form. We're going to get a lot of stuff online, hopefully by this fall at the city, where you can do your interaction with local government online. So
Yeah. Okay.
um,
You know, that's a technology that needs to be taken advantage of by every government agency. The
Right.
technology exists. If you don't have a website that's like up to date, you're messed up.
Right.
And using this automation, it should save
It should save
payroll.
hours of it should save work.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it should. I put on my sheet, as you and I talked before, I put birds, but I meant bids. There are bids that are coming in on a
We
new
got some
corporate.
birds
We
coming.
got birds. We got bids coming in on a new corporate hangar at the airport, which actually we got that bid. I sat in that big committee. It was a little over $2 million, I think, for that hangar. And then
Who's paying for that?
that is coming from a $6 million direct appropriation. It may have come from the federal government, I think, even. It came from Washington, D.C.
Maybe that's some of that printed money that we didn't have to pay.
It may be. It may not be real money, but as long as the check's clear.
Shovel
So,
bucks.
yeah, as long as the
Shovel
check's clear.
bucks.
And then there's what they're calling a shade port hangar. Honestly, don't know what that is. It's some other kind of hangar. And that one, we've got a big committee coming up this week. We're going to get bids in on that.
I think that's just like a carport without. It's not a garage.
I
It's
think
a
it doesn't have,
carport.
may not have
Yeah.
doors. So, yep. And then last but not least, we got a request from the Senior Citizen Center. This has been under discussion for well over a year, maybe even longer. Their facility where they're at, if anybody knows where it is, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
It's back behind the old TCAT. They have been surrounded on two sides now. They're surrounded by a new facility for Cooper Steel. And then the other side
Right.
is where they teach you how to drive a semi-truck.
Yep.
And then there's some old houses there. They're in
It's the worst possible location.
You
could
can't
have.
find it.
Yeah.
It's not visible where unless you're going there, you're not going there. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's not somewhere
You're not going to just
accidentally
drive by and say, "Oh, I think I'll chop in there."
Yeah,
No,
so-
I'll be a little afraid to drive back there. Honestly.
Yeah. So that, I think that plus they started to have a downturn, as everything did during the COVID era. And then they've just never come back. And then I think the locations hurt a number of things. So they are prepared. We were prepared to offer them the opportunity to move about a year or two ago. They weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
They've come to the same realization I think that everybody from the outside had come to, which is it's not working where you're at. So they've asked the city to go and help them try to make this transition, which would involve selling the building they're in, getting the funds from that building, and using it to relocate into a better location. The one up for discussion currently would be an extension off the rec center. That is one idea. I know there's other ideas floating out there as far as location, but
Right.
this is something that hopefully is going to start moving sooner rather
Okay.
than later. So, because that whole senior
If you're going to have one, you might as well put it in the right place and do it the right way.
do it
you
the
know?
right way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of good work still, even in the bad location. There are our intermediary with, I think it's South Central Development District, one of the
Right.
South Central agencies. They provide meals to a
Yes.
lot of our seniors.
They
that
used to
aren't
have what
able
they
to.
called Meals on Wheels,
And they still do.
that.
They
still do.
deliver.
Yeah,
And I don't know the
shut-ins
number
and so
anymore.
forth.
People that aren't able to get out, they will deliver meals
Yep.
to them, and that may be the only food these people get.
Well,
often.
honestly,
So-
Josh, that is a service that is almost like something assisted living does for people, but
Yeah.
they're still getting to stay at home
they're
and
still
they
in
don't
their
have to
home.
worry about a meal. You're
Right.
right. That might be all
It's
they
a
get.
big deal. Yeah. And they also have the meals for those that are mobile and stuff. They can go in there and
Yeah.
eat the meal there. So
That's a good service.
yeah. So that's a good service. They do that, I think, 5 days a week. So that's important to keep that. So we got to find a good spot for them, get them relocated,
Yep.
and get them moving. So let me jump forward to Friday, and then I'm going to circle back to our last topic here, which is the budget. We'll get a little deeper in the budget. I did go Friday at lunchtime. We had the big groundbreaking of the soccer complex. So we had the
I'm
hard
worried
hats.
about you, Josh.
I know I had to wear a hard hat.
But-
I had to stand in
You
front
were
of a shovel.
you were missing a key element
What
to
was I
your
missing,
protection. You needed those safety goggles on.
I didn't need
because
safety goggles.
With that dirt, you get the
it
shovel.
could have
that's-
flown up.
It could have been a rock, right?
Yeah. You also point out the fact that we're wearing hard hats and there's
No,
it's an
above.
outdoor dirt.
I mean,
project.
what were y'all
What's going to
expecting?
fall out of the sky?
Expecting
So
a hailstorm or something, maybe.
the tent might have fallen on us. I
There
don't
wasn't
know.
a tent,
Well, no, there was a tent where
not
we
where
were,
you were doing the work.
not where we were having hard hats. No.
Okay,
So
all right.
I don't know. It was a photo op. I stood on the very end to try to be out of the picture, but I think I was. Still
I
in
noticed
some
you
of
were
them,
in it.
but
You were
it's-
there.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, it is good. On the flip side, just briefly, it is good to at least celebrate some of the good things that are going on. And this is something good that's going to happen at the park. I did see a comment because they've told us, and I'm not sure I believe it, but I put the information out there. They told us they could be open in the fall. So somebody pointed out in our comments, that's like 3 months. But I just am repeating what they told us. It's dirt work. and they're putting down sod. They're not seeding.
Well,
or
you're looking at the
anything, so-
weather.
Yeah,
If
it's
the
gonna be
weather could
weather
hinder for
dependent.
that from
Yeah.
happening. But if you
Yeah.
get some good days, it could happen
It
fast.
could, and they've got to put in a parking lot, and then they still haven't even put out the bathroom concession building. Has still.
It's going to be spring, Josh. Spring. All right.
They told us fall. I put fall.
I
out
know.
there,
They
so
always
put
tell
fall
that.
out there,
It's
so.
always.
All right. Let me rearrange my desk here, and let's get into the last item. We had Thursday. We had 2 hours of discussion of the City of Shelbyville proposed budget for the upcoming year. Like I said a minute ago, probably most people, once they hear that their taxes are not going to go up, don't care about the rest of the numbers. But I think these numbers, as you said, are important because these are numbers that tell us
What's coming?
what's coming down the road. For the upcoming year, they are predicting revenue, that would be money coming in from taxpayers, of $26.6 million. And they are proposing to spend or transfer out, which is not transfer to like another city, but transfer to other projects, $33.9 million. So you do the math. They're spending more than is coming in there.
Say that again for the people at home.
They're spending more than is
No,
coming in
not
there.
that. The
Oh,
numbers, the
yeah.
actual numbers.
Yeah, 26.6 million coming in,
Yeah.
33.9 going out.
That's a deficit of 6 point.
Yeah,
Million.
you do the math.
All right.
yeah.
Who's making up the difference there?
Well, now let's get let's start with the thing they always tell us, and this is true. They always use conservative, so they're guessing low on the revenue and guessing high on the expenses, so that margin will shrink quite a bit. So
How
by
about if we
several
guessed
million,
where they
so.
balance?
Guess to balance would be nice. Yeah, I mean the big things as always are fire and police. I mean those are your big ones.
So there you go, people. Do you want fire and police? Do you want it?
Yeah, your third biggest is going to be, I believe, and I'd have to combine these together, and they're not on here, but Public Works, I believe, is our third biggest department. And that is reflected in the pay study that I also have here, which we talked about that number's jumped to, what was it, 1.4 million is the number, but that's
Josh, just for the
300,000 to our police officers and 400,000 to our
Okay,
firefighters.
let's just look
So,
at this.
yeah.
And I know y'all are trying to do this to get your pay up in scale with everybody else in the
Correct.
same neighborhood.
in the neighborhood. It's not
Okay,
even to
just-
the
all right, let's
the
just
neighborhood
say-
they're getting to is like a lot of these departments. I'm seeing 81%, 86%.
But let's just get down to raw numbers.
Yeah.
I want people to understand this from where you can identify with it.
Yeah.
What does an average fireman or police officer make? Let's say they've been in the force for 5 years, either one, just a round number.
I do not know those numbers, and those are
Is
not
it
on here.
50,000, 60,000,
Mm,
65,000?
Don't have any of those. And
Those-
honestly,
that's
I
something
asked.
we need
I
to
didn't.
look.
Well, and I didn't want to get into. I mean, we could have gotten into what each person made, but I didn't want to know what people
Don't
made.
no
so,
matter
yeah.
about that. Let's look at the
Yeah.
average. I think
Right.
the average salary
Yeah.
or the average annual income of these, that's what you're comparing to your Coffee counties and to Tullahoma
Right.
and Lewisburg. So what do those numbers look like?
Yeah,
What does
about-
Lewisburg look like? What is that number? Is it 60,000, 70,000? What is it?
Right.
All right, just
and-
that round number.
Yeah, and I don't have that. All they did give us though was like our police officers will be making 97% of what they say the
What's
average
that
police
number?
officer. Yeah, what the dollar figure is. I
They
don't
didn't
know.
talk about that.
They didn't talk about the dollar.
You're kidding me.
No, they gave us the percentages.
All
So,
right, so
Yeah.
we're taxpayers.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to know that number.
I can get that number. I can
That
bring it
number is
next
very
week.
important.
Yeah.
Because I think people will be shocked at how low it is.
It probably is.
What
yeah.
my point being here is you want somebody to go out and face this type of danger,
Put their life at risk.
put their life at risk every day to put out fires and arrest criminals and dodge bullets.
Yeah.
Okay. For crying out loud. It's happened here.
Yeah.
All right. You want them to do it for minimum wage? I mean, you got to look at this and understand what it's actually costing our city and what it's costing our county. And I know I hate to see taxes go up, but we're having a choice to make. If the citizens of Shelbyville come up and say, Josh, we don't want no more taxes. And you got to look at them and say, we don't. Okay, then we won't have any more police officers. We won't have any more fire. We got to stop here. We're going to do it with what we got. We're going to cut it off. And sorry, if your house catches on fire, it might take a little longer to get there, like you were saying earlier. But
Right.
these are the
It'll hurt
bottom
response
line
time. Yeah.
cause and effects that are going to take place with these taxes.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
And we got going into some specific personnel things that we made some, we didn't vote, so none of these decisions are final, but we had a
This was a
discussion
study
where we could
session,
tell
yeah.
what was going on. Our police department did ask for 4 new, well, this here, I can give you a number because here's a number here that'll get you somewhere. 4 new officers would cost $380,400.
Okay,
So,
John Hart pulls up.
Yeah.
He's got that Google fact checker going on here. The average salary for a city police officer in Middle Tennessee ranges between $50,000 and $70,000 annually, though actual pay depends heavily on the specific municipality, the officer's prior experience, lateral transfers, and their level of education. So there's a range that John has found, and that's the range I would guess.
well, here's an exact number because they do have more stuff. See, I just need to go further into the book.
Yeah, it's in the book.
$28.56 an hour.
$28.56. Is that what you want to pay somebody that's risking their lives?
Yep.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's the actual dollar figure. That is a 5-year certified officer. So that's somebody that's not fresh out of the,
Yep.
fresh out of school. That's a 5-year officer.
So there you are.
$28.56 an hour. So
More taxes, pay our folks. That's
Yeah.
what it's going to take.
yeah. And in that case, again, they asked for 4 more. We did not fund, and I don't think we're going to because it wasn't part of the discussion, but they asked for 4 more, and we are not doing that due to the fact that we're looking at increasing and getting everybody up to the salary
Josh,
study.
I wouldn't want to
So,
sit in your seat for nothing. Here's the thing you have to balance. You've got taxpayers pounding you over the head saying, we can't go up. We can't go up anymore on property taxes. I get that argument. Then you've got people over here that are risking their lives to put out fires and arrest criminals and dodge bullets.
right.
And you got to say, well, we can't pay you what you're worth. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a squeeze.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is. You're coming from both sides. So we did on personnel. We actually, I was telling somebody this last night. We actually, at the meeting, 2 people got found out they were being laid off. So they,
That's sad.
yeah, I know. They had 2 positions at the parks department that they're going to eliminate to allow them to bring in a full-time coordinator for their athletic events.
Well, let me tell you something, Josh.
yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to deal with that.
Yeah.
But when citizens end up saying this, we want police, fire, public works, drop everything else. How does that look? And I mean, that situation right there becomes almost irrelevant talking about parks and athletics when you got fires and criminals
Right.
and bullets flying. That's a little bit, we're going to have to prioritize is what
Right.
I'm getting to. But the taxpayer's going to be to have to want to do it, not you.
Right.
The taxpayers are going to have to tell Josh,
They got to
Josh,
decide
forget the
what's-
soccer,
Right.
forget the softball. If we want that, we're going to have to pay for it out of our pockets another way. Oh, it's going to
Yeah.
get rough, Josh.
Yeah, it could
I'm
get
not
ugly,
trying to
so.
put pressure on you, but
No,
I'm
that's
trying
okay.
to talk to people and make people understand. You got so much money to deal with all of this stuff
to
right
pay
here.
everything. Yeah. Now we did go ahead and remove a position that wasn't even filled yet. They had asked for in our packet here a communication specialist. They wanted to have the city have a public information officer, which would be the person that would post on Facebook and the website. And we kind of came to the decision during the meeting that maybe we had other priorities than somebody to
Yeah.
post on.
Okay. I've got a comment. Marie, Therese, Lawrence, Hoadley. All right. What about all the houses going up by Johnston's? They need fire department, school, grocery stores. Just don't build until infrastructure is ready for all these people moving here. And I'm going to say this. Josh Blevins said no to that. And
I tried.
And William Christie said no to that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the question right here, Marie, needs to go to Henry Feldhouse, Marilyn Ewing, Betsy Noel, and Bobby Turnpoe. Those 4 people voted for that, even though we don't have infrastructure. So those are the 4 people that need to answer that question. And I don't have an answer for it other than we can't say no. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So there we are. That's the facts. All right. Sorry. But I just had to address that question there. That's a great question. Well, it's not a question, it's a statement.
Yeah,
But it's
sounded
actually
more
the
like a
truth.
statement.
It's the truth. Yeah.
It is. So Yeah, so communication specialists got the axe, even though they weren't hired yet, and we are even though
They got
not even
fired
there,
before they got hired.
Before they got hired.
Man, that's something, man.
Hey,
Hey,
you know,
that's government working though.
well, it was $75,000.
What?
We had probably other
Okay, you
priorities,
can't
so.
you can't pay somebody that's scheduling athletic events making more than our police.
Well,
You
no,
can't
this
do
no,
it.
this was the one that was going to be the person posted on Facebook and the website.
Oh, well,
so,
you can't do that either.
yeah.
You
Well,
can't.
no, that's with the benefits. No, the police make more than that with benefits.
Okay,
their
okay,
salary
all
is
right,
going
I
to be
got you.
41
Okay.
to 50. Either way, they're fired.
But still,
They're fired.
you
They're
got to
gone.
prioritize.
They're gone.
Facebook can linger. I mean,
Yeah.
it can go away. We got to
Yeah.
put out fires and arrest
Yeah,
criminals.
we
All
did, however, agree that we are woefully understaffed in IT because we've got one guy and we've got a bunch of departments now. And he tried to take a day off twice in the last couple of months, and both days he ended up working all day because we don't
Yep.
have anybody. If he's gone, there's nobody to call.
Well,
So-
we got to have somebody to call.
You got to have somebody to call, so they are going to hire one additional person in IT. So, I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, we did make some nonprofit decisions.
Oh, that seems like a everyday thing going on.
Yeah, the library had asked for 15%, and my friend Mr. Feldhouse, he was good with the 15%. I talked him into, I think we're going to go 10% instead of 15% because Councilmember Ewing, she wanted to go ahead and give the Senior Citizen Center some more money. So we're going to take some of that money that maybe would have gone to the library and give that Senior Citizen Center. So
See,
another
here's the
5,000
thing. All
so-
these donations and stuff.
There's
And
three. There's three left in
okay.
the city because
Yeah.
they, and this was before me, they eliminated
Right.
any that are, these are required by a couple state things. You have to, there's maintenance
Right.
effort with these, the library and stuff that they have to do.
Well,
But they
I
did
got-
cut, they had a big,
Maintenance,
page that
yeah. This
they
maintenance
came
of
on,
effort stuff,
so,
Josh,
yeah.
it's going to break some cities and counties if
Yeah.
you just keep doing it. That's another topic for another time. I'll just stay off that at the moment.
yeah. So, I think that's probably enough on the budget. for
All right,
now. So
okay.
you kind of know where we're going with the budget. So
Yes,
you-
it's
you
not
got a
looking.
general
Hey,
feel.
next
So,
2027, guys, that's the year.
is that the year it's going to be
That's
exciting?
the year it's going to
You're going to get real fired up.
hit the
that year,
fan.
aren't you?
No,
Yeah.
I'm fired up now in advance
In
because I know
advance.
it's coming.
You know what's
And
happening.
I'm trying to tell people it's coming.
It's coming.
Just don't fall asleep at the wheel
Yeah.
because there's an election year, people. The people that you elect this year that are going to be sitting in some chairs that are going to decide what happens next year when it's tax increase time, when it's budget cutting time, and it's taking a look at real money. You need to determine who's going to serve your best interest at that point. That's who you vote for. If you want bigger government, there's some people to vote for. You want higher taxes, there's some people to vote for. You want trimmed budgets, conservative principles, there's people to vote for. Find out who they are. Sorry.
And save this video, and we're going to play this next year in May when we're talking about next year's budget,
Absolutely.
where everybody's asking for more taxes, and then you can say, "I told you so."
Well, I'm not going to say I told you so. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
going
could say I told
it's
you
just
so.
I'm just telling you now in advance. I don't have to say I
Yeah.
told you so. You can look back.
You
All
look
right.
back and see
Josh,
this
I
video.
know we've gone a little bit longer than
gone
usual,
long.
but I
Let's-
think this is very important to have an open discussion for the people that can hang in there and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And pay attention for a little while. You guys that are staying with us, that are paying attention, need to tell your family and friends some of the discussion we're having right now because it's coming. And if they care, don't complain about it if you don't care now. Okay. So that's the bottom line.
And we're going to hear from our sponsors one more time. And I have a couple things coming up this week that are important that we want to
Yes,
talk about
very
after the
important.
commercial break.
Yes.
So let's hear
Let's
from
hear
our
from our
sponsors.
sponsors and we'll be right back.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 2020 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All right. One thing before we get going on, Steve Jordan, I like your comment on the development. I agree. The toads should be taken care of. I'm just picking. He does. He meant roads, but I got to pick on him a little bit because I read that and it was hilarious. All right, Josh, what we got coming up?
Busy week. Monday morning, city pre-planning meeting. I believe there's about 8 or 10 items on the agenda there. Not sure exactly what they are yet, but we'll talk about them next weekend. Monday evening, actually starting in the afternoon now, will be city budget workshop number 2, where we will make one last pass through the city budget, make our statements about anything that we feel like is out of line. And that actually does not get voted on until June 30th, because that's the last day that we can wait to. And in case they want to make some last minute changes, I guess. I don't know. We're waiting right to the end. Tuesday afternoon, big committee. That's, I believe, the airport, other project, the Shadeport hangar, maybe. Tuesday evening. This is a big one in our world. This is the county commission meeting where hopefully, they will be voting on the senior property tax freeze. So if you didn't watch last week's show, go back and watch. We dug into the numbers last week. I'm not going to run through all those again, on top of which I didn't bring them with me. But main point is the dollar figure they would have to account for in the county budget for the upcoming year was $115,000. They've got 43 point some million budgeted. So hopefully they are willing to allow for $115,000 to go towards our low-income seniors. It would help in the initial round. 720 is the estimate that we've gotten seniors. Initially, there is a second phase that they could go to once they realize that it doesn't really cost 2 full-time employees to run this program, as we've heard from a number of other counties that are in it. The second phase increases the income limit all the way up to $63,740, somewhere in that range, almost $64,000 a year, and that would offer the ability to help 1,500 or so.
Okay, so see, here's the thing about this, Josh. If this comes up and that's brought up in this meeting, I think somebody should just make a motion to step it to 63 then. If that's a problem, if we're not helping enough, let's just step it to 63. You think there's a possibility that could happen? Could that happen on the floor without another meeting somewhere?
They could. I think realistically at this point, I would hope that they would just pass anything and help. I don't think the argument of you're not helping enough people is a reason not to help anyone.
Well, no.
So that to me seems like a pretty weak argument, but I'd say go ahead and start the first phase and look at it again in 12 to 24 months and then look at going to the second phase. That would just be my personal opinion, but we'll see what the county commission has to say. Tuesday evening, 7:00, historic courthouse.
So that's a no-brainer, Josh. That's going to fly with pass with I hope it does.
I will make no predictions, but I will be there to see what happens. Wednesday, this is a big one, and I'm not going to pre-announce too much of what's going on here. This is not a city or county thing. This is a special event by our friends at Cooper Steel. We're in the hat today. This will include the presentation of the Shelbyville 2075 plan is going to be unveiled. And then there's going to be some other big announcements of some things that are going to be coming up later this year. So that's all I'm going to say. I will say a little Easter egg. If you want to go back and watch the YouTube video, which I believe is 2 hours long, so you'd have to be really committed to do this, of the city budget meeting that happened earlier this week. this what's going to happen at this meeting was accidentally pre-announced at that meeting, is
Well,
because
everybody
it's
already
included in
knows.
the city budget.
Everybody
so
already knows.
a lot of people know, but
Yeah.
we're going to wait. We're going to let them make their announcement, and then there will be some social media posts on Wednesday as far as what's going on there. That's a big one, though. Thursday evening, the city council will meet. We will vote on the items that were at the study session last week. Saturday morning, it
The
will
most
be-
important event that's happening next week is that right there, and the one right after it.
What's that?
The VFW breakfast.
Oh, the VFW breakfast. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You get the VFW breakfast next Saturday morning. Yeah, get your breakfast. And then Saturday evening is the annual Ross ice cream supper.
Who could
So-
country ham and ice cream? Who could turn that down, Josh?
Oh, it's gonna be a good day next Saturday.
Yeah, it
so
is.
there's gonna be so much good eating.
Big Saturday.
Big Saturday. Big Saturday.
You
We'll
gonna be
here-
at both of those
I'll be at both of those. I'll be here
I knew it.
live next week at 10 o'clock. We'll be talking about what went on
with
during the
crumbs
week.
on your shirt?
I'll probably have leftover breakfast somewhere stuck on me. I will have dropped some breakfast,
right.
but yeah, going to be a big Saturday as well. So that's all I got, David.
Josh, I've had fun today harassing
fun?
you. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm
harassing the
glad.
councilman.
I'm easy to harass, so
I know,
that's all
I
right.
know,
We
I
had a
know.
good time.
No, it's there is things that we have to continue to talk about these things and point these out because they make a big difference in the lives of individuals here in our city and county. So everybody pay attention. If you watch this all the way through, please share this with your friends and family. If you can't get them to watch, at least give them a brief synopsis of
Give them a
what we're
summary.
talking
We
about.
talked a lot.
Like
Yeah.
vote for the right people. Start thinking about what your priorities are,
Yeah.
and communicate that to your commissioners and your city councilmen. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Yeah, and later today, go to Grindstone and support Picking for Peyton, or go
Right.
to the event
To
for
Allison.
the appliance doctor. And
Oh yeah, that's right.
let me get the location of that
That's
again real
Peyton,
quick.
Peyton Allison. And
Peyton
then-
Allison, yeah,
and,
3 to 8 o'clock
J-Man
at
2.
Grindstone, and then the fundraiser for J-Man 2 starts at 7 o'clock at Backroads Bar and Grill, 1902 Warners Bridge Road. So,
All right,
yep, go support both those. You could get to both of those. The timing is correct that you could hit them both.
Josh,
So,
we've almost gone for an hour.
I know we talked.
Thank
too
you,
much.
folks, for hanging in there with us. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate our sponsors. We'll be back next week to talk about breakfast and ice cream.